I don't know how far back we have to start the introduction, but let's just start with um, Indra offending the spiritual master. And once Indra was sitting in the throne of, he's the king of all the demigods. He's sitting in the throne with his wife, and he was all his various ministers, everybody sitting, and he was enjoying the opulence. And so his spiritual master Brahaspati, he entered the assembly, but Indra did not pay respect, which means getting up and offering obeisances and washing his feet and all that respect he did not give. In fact, he just ignored, because he was in complete pride of his material opulence. And so I'm able to hear another. Okay. So when Brahaspati saw that, he just quietly left. Because I mean, pretty much he felt disrespected, so he left. And Indra definitely immediately repented, but he could not find his spiritual master anywhere. He kept on searching, but he could not find. So now, without the spiritual master, the demigods, led by Indra, they start to lose their opulences, and so they all went to Brahma and made a plea to him, saying, "Please help us, because we are losing against. We are actually losing all our opulences, and eventually lose our battle with the demons." And so Brahma says, there is this Brahmana called Tvashta. His son called Vishwarupa will be your priest. And so Indra goes and begs Vishwarupa to be their priest, like in place of, because he could not find Brahaspati. So Vishwarupa now is in charge of protecting the demons, and so protecting the demigods. And so a little bit intro about Vishwarup is that Vishwarup's father Tvashta is from the demigod side, whereas his mother is from the demon side. So he has soft corner to both of these relatives, just like anybody of us would have. And but definitely because of his father's, Tvashta's instruction, he favors Indra, the demigods, and then gives them an Narayana Kavach, and then also tells how to perform this Kavach, and then there is a yajna that happens, and then there is offering to the all the mantras and the yajna on the oblations. They are receiving this offerings from the yajna, and he gives major part of it to demigods, which is their rightful, rightfully so. But then, because of his soft corner towards his mother, he also gives secretly, cheating Indra. He gives it to demigods also. So Indra somehow finds that out, and then he chastises Vishwarup and kind of cuts his heads. There are 3 heads for Vishwarup, so cuts all the 3 heads. And so that happens, and then there are many details about where the sins of Indra, that happened, and where it fell on. One fell on earth, and then trees, women. I forgot. Did anybody remember what the 4th one? Is it water? No. So
Yes,
earth becomes a desert.
Boiling water cannot be used.
Boiling water, yes, water. So earth becomes a desert, boiling water cannot be used, and then trees, the sap, we cannot have the sap of the trees, and then women's like the menstruation cycle, the women cannot be touched. So so those 4 things happen because of all this. And so meanwhile, Twashta, because of losing his son, he gets angry, and then he wanted to create an enemy for Indra. But he says one mantra, instead of saying it long, he says it short. Or is it the other way around? I think somehow he mispronounces a mantra, so it produces in the out from the that yagya comes Vritrasura. It's like the very fiery demon. He comes, but then he comes in as the who will be killed by Indra. So instead of killing Indra, the mantra was pronounced such that he will be killed by Indra, something to that effect. And so so when Indra heard about this this enemy, that fierce enemy that that was created by Twashta, Indra says that okay, now we have to protect our demigod population. So he goes to Lord Vishnu, Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead says, okay, because you sought shelter to me and to me, I will protect you. So go to Dadichi Muni and beg him for the bones. And the bones of the body, after he passes away, the bones of this body can be used to make a deadly weapon that will kill Vritrasura. So all that happens, and it's very detailed explained in the chapter 9 how Dadichi Muni was converting his bones to make this deadly weapon, and then Indra gets this weapon. It's called as a thunderbolt. Now just making sure that I don't miss any important piece. Chapter 9. So then yeah, so I think that is I think that's the gist of that. And then the chapter 10, the last session we saw the battle between the demigods and Vritrasura. So once this weapon was created, at the end of Satya Yuga, before the Treta Yuga started, the great fight took place between the demigods and the demons. So what happens now is that there's a fierce battle going on between them, but at some point the demons started losing their power. So they started throwing all kinds of weapons. Now they started the weapon, the bandar, the storehouse of all their weapons and everything gets depleted. Then they started throwing the mountains and the trees and huge rocks and everything, but nothing seems to take effect on the demigods. So what happens? So now we are in chapter 11 now. So let's go ahead and start reading. So this is the scene now where the demigods are at an advantage over the demons. They started out equal, but then over a period of time, the demons lost their the storage of weapons, and their strength diminishes. And so now let's see what happens in chapter 11. So I'm going to just okay. So please raise your hands if you'd like to be the reader. Anybody would like to read? Okay, Jagannath Gopal Prabhu, please go ahead. So there's 27 verses. So we can just do it in like maybe five parts. Let's see how it goes. Let's read the first 5 and then yeah.
Sure, Mataji. And yeah, thank you for the nice introduction. Sorry I didn't hand it over to you in the beginning, but thank you for covering this chapter.
Sorry, I didn't wait for you.
Oh, no,
I guess
no.
I just started. Okay.
Chapter 11, The Transcendental Qualities of Vritrasur. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, O king, Vritrasur, the commander-in-chief of the demons, advised his lieutenants in the principles of religion. But the cowardly demoniac commanders, intent upon fleeing the battlefield, were so disturbed by fear that they could not accept his words. King Parikshit, O King Parikshit, the demigods, taking advantage of a favorable opportunity presented by time, attacked the army of the demons from the rear and began driving away the demoniac soldiers, scattering them here and there, as if their army had no leader. Seeing the pitiable condition of his soldiers, Vritrasur, the best of the Asuras, who was called Indrashatru, the enemy of Indra, was very much aggrieved. Unable to tolerate such reverses, he stopped and forcefully rebuked the demigods, speaking the following words in an angry mood. O demigods, these demoniac soldiers have taken birth uselessly. Indeed, they have come from the bodies of their mothers exactly like stool. What is the benefit of killing such enemies from behind while they are running in fear? One who considers himself a hero should not kill an enemy who is afraid of losing his life. Such killing is never glorious, nor can it promote one to the heavenly planets. O insignificant demigods, if you truly have faith in your heroism, if you have patience in the cores of your hearts, and if you are not ambitious for sense gratification, please stand before me for a moment. Should I continue, Mataji?
Sure, Prabhu. Anybody else who wants to read? Or yes, please go ahead. Maybe you can read till 10 and then, yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Shukadev Goswami said, Vritrasur, the angry and most powerful hero, terrified the demigods with his stout and strongly built body. When he roared with a resounding voice, nearly all living entities fainted. When all the demigods heard Vritrasura's tumultuous roar, which resembled that of a lion, they fainted and fell to the ground, as if struck by thunderbolts. As the demigods closed their eyes in fear, Vritrasur, taking up his trident and making the earth tremble with his great strength, trampled upon the demigods beneath his feet on the battlefield the way a mad elephant tramples hollow bamboos in the forest.
Sorry to interrupt, Prabhu. I think there are two more hands raised, so maybe we can give them chance.
Sure.
Megha, would you like to go next? From, you can read from 9.
Seeing Vritrasur's disposition, Indra, the king of heaven, became intolerant and threw at him one of his great clubs, which are extremely difficult to counteract. However, as the club flew towards him, Vritrasur easily caught it with his left hand. O King Parikshit, the powerful Vritrasur, the enemy of King Indra, angrily struck the head of Indra's elephant with the club, making a tumultuous sound on the battlefield. For this heroic deed, the soldiers on both sides glorified him. Struck with the club by Vritrasur like a mountain struck by thunderbolt, the elephant Aravat, feeling great pain and spiritual blood from its broken mouth, was pushed back 14 yards. In great distress, the elephant fell with Indra on its back. When he saw Indra's carrier elephant, thus fatigued and injured, and when he saw Indra morose because his carrier had been harmed in that way, the great soul Vritrasur, following religious principles, refrained from again striking Indra with the club. Taking this opportunity, Indra touched the elephant with his nectar-producing hand, thus relieving the animal's pain and curing its injuries. Then the elephant and Indra both stood silently. O king, when the great hero Vritrasur saw Indra, his enemy, the killer of his brother, standing before him with a thunderbolt in his hand, desiring to fight, Vritrasur remembered how Indra had cruelly killed his brother. Thinking of Indra's sinful activities, he became mad with lamentation and forgetfulness. Laughing sarcastically, he spoke as follows. Sri Vritrasur said, He who has killed a Brahmana, he who has killed his spiritual master, Indeed, he who has killed my brother is now by good fortune standing before me face to face as my enemy. O most abominable one, when I pierce your stone like heart with my trident, I shall be freed from my debt to my brother. Only for the sake of living in the heavenly planets, you killed my elder brother, a self realized, sinless, qualified Brahmana who had been appointed your chief priest. He was your spiritual master, but although you entrusted him with the performance of your sacrifice, you later mercilessly severed his heads from his body the way one butchers an animal. Indra, you are bereft of all shame, mercy, glory, and good fortune. Deprived of these good qualities by the reactions of your fruitive activities, you are to be condemned, even by the man-eaters, Rakshasas. Now I shall pierce your body with my trident, and after you die with great pain, even fire will not touch you, only the vultures will eat your body.
Thank
You are
you.
natural. Okay.
Thank you, Megha. Karan Sundari Saki, you can read the rest, 10 verses.
You are naturally cruel. If the other demigods, unaware of my prowess, follow you by attacking me with raised weapons, I shall sever their heads with this sharp trident. With those heads, I shall perform a sacrifice to Bhairava and the other leaders of the ghosts along with their hordes. But if in this battle you cut off my head with your thunderbolt and kill my soldiers, O Indra, O great hero, I shall take pleasure in offering my body to other living entities, such as jackals and vultures. I shall thus be relieved of my obligations to the reactions of my karma, and my fortune will be to receive the dust from the lotus feet of great devotees like Narad Muni. O king of the demigods, since I, your enemy, am standing before you, why don't you hurl your thunderbolt at me? Although your attack upon me with your club was certainly useless, like a request of money from a miser, the thunderbolt you carry will not be useless. You need have no doubts about this. O Indra, king of heaven, the thunderbolt you carry to kill me has been empowered by the prowess of Lord Vishnu and the strength of Dadichi's austerities. Since you have come here to kill me in accordance with Lord Vishnu's order, there is no doubt that I shall be killed by the release of your thunderbolt. Lord Vishnu has sided with you. Therefore, your victory, opulence, and all good qualities are assured. By the force of your thunderbolt, I shall be freed of material bondage and shall give up this body and this world of material desires. Fixing my mind upon the lotus feet of Lord Sankarshan, I shall attain the destination of such great sages as Narad Muni, just as Lord Shankarsan has said. Persons who fully surrender at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always think of his lotus feet are accepted and recognized by the Lord as his own personal assistants or servants. The Lord never bestows upon such servants the brilliant opulences of the upper, lower, and middle planetary systems of this material world. When one possesses material opulences in any of these three divisions of the universe, his possessions naturally increase his enmity, anxiety, mental agitation, pride, and belligerence. Thus, one goes through much endeavor to increase and maintain his possessions, and he suffers great unhappiness when he loses them. Our Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, forbids his devotees to endeavor uselessly for religion, economic development, and sense gratification. O Indra, one can thus infer how kind the Lord is. Such mercy is obtainable only by unalloyed devotees, not by persons who aspire for material gains. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes, my word always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of your Lordship. O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruva Loka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides, nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be the master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. O my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you.
Jay, thank you so much. I didn't realize it was a bit longer paragraphs for you to read, Sundari Saki.
These are my favorite verses, Madhuri.
That's good.
I'm so prayers. I'm so glad I got to read them.
Good, good. Yes, they are very powerful, especially from 22 to 27. They're very powerful prayers. So, so let's look at section by section. So from the so just to give a gist of what just happened, so all the demons, they're all afraid because they lost their weapons, and then nothing seems to not even a small the like a bruise they're able to make on the bodies of demigods, even though they're throwing like mountains and big rocks and so on. And so the demons obviously got frightened, and they are just running here and there, running away from fear. So Vritrasura calls them like this. Indeed, they have come from the bodies of their mothers exactly like stool. So it is even the chastisement is so nice from Vritrasura. It's what the demigods are doing is that they are actually going behind these demons who are fleeing, and then they're killing them. And Vritrasura is condemning them, saying, hey, they are running from fear. They're uselessly born because they are not even, they don't even have the courage to just, die for a good cause in the battle. So they're running away. And you are killing them. It is a very cowardly act. And so he's chastising, Vritrasura is chastising the demigods for killing them. What is the benefit of killing the enemy from behind when they are running? So it's one of the policies or the rules of the war is to not, it's not a dharmic approach to kill, someone when they are showing their back towards us. So towards the soldier. So such killing is never glorious, nor it can promote one to heavenly planets. So it's very funny in this. Can somebody tell me what is funny in this last sentence? I mean, funny in a not in a mocking way, but anything catches your eye in the sentence?
They're already
They are already in
Yeah.
heavenly planet.
Right. So they're already in the heavenly planet. What more they can get, right? So I mean, so I guess maybe they might lose their position in the heavenly planet. Is that what it is? I'm not sure if anybody can clarify that. I don't think Prabhupada has given also.
I mean,
any-
Indraloka is not the topmost heavenly planet, right? Brahmaloka is the topmost.
Huh.
So maybe for people
Okay.
in Indraloka, Brahmaloka is the ambition.
Okay. So they have their
Maybe.
own. It's like upper
Yeah, just
upper
speculating.
upper ladders of
Yeah,
heavenly planets.
yeah.
Yes, that's a very good point. Yeah. And then what happens is that please stand before me for a moment. He's saying that pretty much he's addressing the insignificant demigods, but then he is he's pretty much addressing the Indra only. So it says, stand before me, don't waste your time killing these people who have taken birth uselessly and running away in fear. Don't kill them. You will not get any glory for killing them. So here the angry and most powerful hero terrified the demigods with his stout and strong-built body. So he was resounding, I was just reminded of how resounding the voice of Nrsimhadev would be, and then how I'm just comparing the Vritrasura's voice, something similar like that, how terrifying it will be for all the demigods. So when all the demigods heard Vritrasura's tumultuous roar, resembled that of a lion. This is what made me think of Nrsimhadev. Then they fainted and fell to the ground as if struck by thunderbolts. So just from the roar, like they were just struck, fainted. And so they were just closing their eyes, not to, in fear, the demigods. And then so this Vritrasura just trampling everybody, just like a mad elephant would just trample bamboos. And you can imagine how big he would be to do that. Demigods themselves are probably like huge. They are not. They are a little bit bigger, I believe. Like taller and more wider than the regular human beings. So imagine them being trampled on the feet of Vritrasura, how big he must be to do that. And so now Indra became intolerant and threw him one of his great clubs. That's the it's the best of his clubs he threw. And then Vritrasura caught easily with his left hand. It's just like nonchalantly, it's just caught it, and then he threw it on his elephant, Airavata. And then Airavata moved 14 yards back, and then he fell, and he got a huge hurt. And the elephant fell, and then it was spitting blood from its broken mouth. So here is again, even though he's a demon, it shows how much compassionate he is. Because both have been harmed in this way, because Indra was sitting on top of the Airavata. Airavata fell, obviously Indra also fell down. So Vritrasura refrained from again attacking with his club. He could have easily taken that advantage of the opportunity. That's what we see the wrestlers and the boxers do. They're just waiting for this one weak moment and then just pound on that opponent, right? But here he felt compassion and stopped striking. But he didn't say compassion, but again, he's playing by the rules. So I guess, but still Indra used that opportunity, just a second's moment of that stopping the war. Indra healed himself and the Airavata, and they both became normal and then healthy, and they are back in action. So anyway, so in Vritrasura remembered how Indra had cruelly killed his brother, and so became mad with lamentation and forgetfulness. So I was wondering why this forgetfulness. Does anybody know? So Vritrasura is thinking of Indra's sinful activities. He became mad with lamentation and forgetfulness. I was wondering if anybody can throw light on that. There was no purport on this. I was just reading through this, and then I was wondering why this forgetfulness is. What is the forgetfulness of Vritrasura that he's mad about? Lamentation, yes, because lamenting for his brother. Maybe he forgot that momentarily forgot that relationship. I'm not sure. maybe he forgot that how Indra cruelly killed, and he was regretting that how he was striking with stopped striking with the club when he saw them lying down. I don't know what this forgetfulness is, if anybody has any idea. But moving on, yeah, so the pretty much it continues on, where the Indra deprived of these good qualities by the reactions. So I wanted to actually, there is one thing that in the just going back to yeah, okay, let's nothing with the 10th one. So the one thing that I forgot is that I was really happy to see this, but then I wanted to also make this as a discussion point. So when Vritrasura easily caught Indra's best clubs and best of his clubs and caught it with the left hand, and O King Parikshit, the powerful Vritrasura, the enemy of King Indra, angrily struck the head of Indra's elephant with that club, making a tumultuous sound on the battlefield. For this heroic deed, the soldiers on both sides glorified him. So, oh, thank you, Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu. Yes, forgetfulness of his devotional qualities covered by lamentation and anger. But it looks like he's mad about his forgetfulness, right? That's what that said.
Actually, I saw the Sanskrit. It just says smaranam. It doesn't say forgetfulness anywhere. It doesn't say
see.
apohanam. Mattasmritara jnanam apohanam. Na apohanam is forgetfulness.
Forgetfulness, yeah.
So in the Sanskrit verse, it says smaranam, smaran. What
Yeah.
is that?
Remembering,
Yes.
yeah, I'm just highlighting that. So,
Smaranam
smaranam cha activities.
It does say cha though. Okay, and his activities, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the, yeah. It helps to read the Sanskrit and the word for word also.
Yeah.
Whenever we have such doubts.
It's a good question. We can ask someone, maybe
Sure.
CCP or something.
Yeah. So back to 10. So I just wanted to see if anybody has any thoughts on. So, imagine the scene, right? Both the demigods and the demons, they are all like, both of them are fearful. The demons are fearful that the demigods would kill them. The demigods are fearful that Vritrasura is going to trample on them. And it's a huge battle is going on. And just because when Indra threw one of his best clubs at Vritrasura caught in his left hand and threw it angrily at the Airavata, the elephant carrier of Indra, and it makes a tumultuous sound. So for this heroic deed, the soldiers on both sides glorified him. Is it even possible for demigods to glorify Vritrasura? This was like super amazing for me to read this. Have you ever been in a situation where your arch enemy or somebody whom you dislike, you may not have enemies, but there may be somebody who you don't like or don't have to need a conversation with, or something they rubbed you on the wrong side, but they did something amazing that you appreciate them. Has it ever been a situation like this? Like, why? I mean, it's interesting that demigods also glorified him. I mean, actually, their own king and his carrier are being struck. but for that, the soldiers on both sides glorified him. It's just super, nice to see that. I guess the demigods were momentarily forgetting that, and just in awe and amazement, because nobody has ever done that, that they're appreciating it. But still, it requires certain amount of, I just wanted to see if anybody has any thoughts about that.
So can I
Yes, Premji, yeah.
So this is very similar to those who are cricket fans here. Like when I used to watch cricket, I would see that when, let's say, Sachin Tendulkar, for example, for the lack of a better example, used to hit a milestone or something during a match. Like he scored a century, and let's say that was his 50th century or something. Then everybody would congratulate him. They would come to him. They would congratulate him. Even the opposing team. Now in one sense, him scoring a century against the opposing team is actually not good for them in terms of their journey towards victory. But still, because it's a deed that nobody, like very few people, can achieve, even the opposing team congratulated him. So I think that was the ethic, rather, during the prehistoric times when battles would happen, that the excellence in battle was actually appreciated, even though one was an enemy. And we also know that in Mahabharata also, these opposing soldiers would fight during the day, and they would literally sit and have dinner, sit and do their rituals together during the night, during the evenings. So yeah, definitely that was this thing. And they would even share, I heard somewhere that they would even share certain fighting strategies with each other, because they were so honorable in one sense about their skills, that it was a pleasure to them to fight, and not like there was no hatred rather involved there. So it was done with a sense of duty, and a sense of honor rather.
Yeah, I guess, yes, Prabhu. I mean, both the examples are amazing. Yes, it shows a good sportsmanship to have an equipoised kind of a uh, an attitude to or outlook towards even though we are in the midst of things. And yes, I've also heard Mahabharata. They both the Pandavas and the Kauravas, they would actually spend every evening together, talking about the warfare, and in a friendly way. So I just wanted to turn the attention towards, in our lives, have we appreciated it's very easy to appreciate our friends or relatives, or especially our seniors, or even our peers. But when it takes a real effort to have courage to appreciate the ones we don't like, right? Especially at work, maybe somebody rubbed us off someplace. It's a great lesson for us to take things in a sportsmanship, in a sportive way, and appreciate things for what they are, rather than putting it in a context. Contextualizing sometimes is good, but then sometimes it's good to detach from it, and then just see for the sake of the beauty for what it is. And then we would be able to have, in that moment, we can experience that humility in ourselves. Anybody has any thoughts? Otherwise, we can move on to the next section.
That's a very good point, Mataji. Appreciating Not contextualizing sometimes and just appreciating someone for what they are. So yeah, it is difficult because the intent is involved.
Mm,
Listen, if somebody is trying to harm us or pull us down, we know that it's their intent to go against us.
yeah.
So that actually what hits the ego, and that makes us, like, at least it makes me not want to appreciate them.
Mm,
So yeah.
right, right. Yeah, there could be ego, there could be envy. The
Yes.
only antidote for envy, as they say, is to just openly appreciate, even
Yeah.
though we may not mean it. But making it a habit will, even if we have to do it for pretend it, just doing it will release some of that stored up greed or envy that we may be harboring against that other person.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, you are going to say something, bro?
No, that's it, Mataji. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a very good point. Thank you.
Anybody else has any thoughts on this aspect? Yeah, I thought that this was a great takeaway for me, especially to just look and appreciate things and see for what they are rather than um, taking it personally. And when something amazing has been done, even though that is done from the hands of someone we don't like, just appreciating it, it goes takes a it goes a long way. So moving on, so I think we were here before. So forgetfulness, we were seeing this. So then Vritrasura, he said, he who killed a Brahmana has killed a spiritual master, killed my brother, is now by good fortune standing before me face to face. I shall be freed from my debt to my brother. So the Vritrasura knows, right? Knows that he, his father Prashta had made a mistake in uttering certain mantras, and he knows it's a losing battle, but still he at the beginning he says, when I pierce your stone like heart with it, he still shows that he can win over Indra. And then he talks about different possibilities of what will happen. It's very beautifully that the whole emotions has been taken. I mean, it's very nice to just close our eyes and just imagine what he would be going through. Like from the angle of losing his own brother, till in knowing that he cannot do anything, seeing that he is more powerful than anybody of the demigods, but still, because of the benediction that Krishna had given on the demigods to have the thunderbolt as a weapon to kill him, he knows that he will be killed, but still he's showing up. So only for the sake of living in the heavenly planets, you killed my brother. And although you trusted him, okay, mercilessly severed his heads. Yeah, so this is just his lamentations. So here again he says, now I shall pierce your body with my trident, and after you died with great pain, even fire will not touch you, only the vultures will eat your body. So he is still thinking that he can kill Indra. So and then he says that yeah, so now suddenly it will change. But if in this battle you cut off my head, so he's thinking of the other possibility also, because he knows that the thunderbolt is the weapon to kill him and his soldiers. O Indra, O great hero, I shall take great pleasure in offering my body to other living entities. I shall thus be relieved of my obligations or to the reactions of my karma, and my fortune will be to receive the dust from the lotus feet of great devotees like Narada Muni. So even at that point, he knows that he is fighting a losing battle, that he wants to receive the dust from the lotus feet of the great devotees. So here Vaishnava always desires. So I just wanted to quickly read this. This is a very powerful purport. So Vaishnava always desires the dust of the lotus feet of previous acharyas and Vaishnavas. Vritrasura was certain that he would be killed in the battle with Indra because this was the desire of Lord Vishnu. He was prepared for death because he knew that after his death, he is destined to return home back to Godhead. So, so here again he says, I shall receive the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees. Manasvinam refers to the great devotees who always think of Krishna. They are very peaceful thinking of Krishna, and therefore they are called Dhira. The best example of such a devotee is Narada Muni. If one receives the dust of the lotus feet of Manasvi, a great devotee, he certainly returns back to Godhead. So yes, so Narada Muni, of course, he when he was a 5-year-old boy, he son of a maidservant, he served at the great Vaishnavas, pure devotees of the Lord, and then eventually he received the benediction to eternally serve at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then also, not only that, he can travel anywhere and sing his glories all the time, 24/7. So that is the benediction that Narada Muni got. And so he is thinking that and saying that I shall receive the dust of such a great devotee like Narada Muni. So he is not even afraid of him dying, and because he knows that he is going to eventually be killed by Indra's thunderbolt. But still he is going ahead and wanting to attain the highest perfection of life, which is serving the lotus feet of the devotees. So I just wanted to ask, what is really winning here? Like, what is the success here? What is victory? Is it victory for the demigods, or is it victory for Vritrasura? What is really victory as we see here? Eventually we'll see in the next following chapters that Vritrasura will be killed, although it will take many years. It will eventually be killed by the thunderbolt of Indra. But what is victory? What is success? What is success in terms of Krishna consciousness for our lives? Is it winning these small things, or what is actually victory? I just wanted to open up. Yes, Megha, please.
Yeah,
Go
this
ahead.
is amazing. Like, this was beautiful. Like, how the same situation can have like an very great question that you asked. Like, what exactly is victory? And then like, he can be what do you say, based on his trauma, or like, in the rage of revenge. Um, like, he can choose to actually kill Indra. I mean, he wants to rather. Uh, yeah, like, but rightly said, like, what exactly is victory? And he himself can recognize it, right? Like, putting his ego aside, like, he can actually move to liberation. Um,
So,
yeah, so I don't know the answer exactly, or very enlightening answer, obviously, but
no,
great.
yes, it
Like, this
is.
was amazing. Great lesson. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we think that, just getting this, we'll have an immediate goal, we'll have some short-term goals, even we have long-term goals. while we get them, we think that, oh, that is our victory. That is, I won the battle. I won the battle. I won the battle, right? So what is it really that, or is it, here he is losing, but is he winning anything? Is he going to win anything? That is my kind of a question.
Yeah, of course. Like he is winning liberation, right?
Hmm.
Like if he actually loses,
Hmm.
in material sense, I mean.
Yeah, in more than, I mean, he at one point he said even he does not even want, I mean, he'll say actually,
Liberation,
yeah, he doesn't want liberation, but he just wants to, the kind of just the lotus feet of the Lord, he just wants to serve. Just want to see Sundari Saki, you raised your hand. Please go ahead.
This is reminding me of Jatayu and Ravan's fight. So in that fight, Jatayu knew he's going to die, and so from one maybe like a worm's eye view, Jatayu lost the war, but from the bird's eye view, he actually won the battle, like because he got closer to Ram and he could serve Ram, so that was his victory. So I see a similarity in this.
Yeah, beautiful, right? Amazing. That was GKP's line. Yes, I remember you had missed that Jatayu story pastime in when we went to Vraj. Yes, amazing correlation that you brought there, Sundari Saki, that I mean, Jatayu clearly knew that he's going to lose it, but still he went ahead and fought. But ultimately he won the in love of God, right? So that is the real victory. And that is what Vritrasula is also going to be, he wants and he will attain also, is that mercy of the Lord. And the Lord also knows that. Because, for Indra, he wants heavenly kingdom. He wants to protect it. He is, everybody is hankering for something, hankering lamentation. I want this. If I lose this, I'm going to cry. But I want this, I get it. I lose this, I'm going to cry. So it's just a very vicious cycle of desiring and lamenting and desiring and lamenting. And so, if Indra wants that heavenly kingdom, Krishna is giving him that. But Vritrasura does not want it. He says, he'll eventually say in his prayers towards the end that he does not want liberation. He does not want material planets. He does not want, to go to higher heavenly planets or any other planetary system. He just wants to serve at the lotus feet of the Lord. Vidasana, dasana, 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 das. So that is his victory. That is what he's saying. GKP, you have anything? Maybe you can still
So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, it is mentioned, and this is important for you to know, Megha, also. So the pure devotees do not seek liberation. In this case, Vitrasura is a pure devotee and he does not seek liberation. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, the reference is the 9th chapter, 267. That's the verse. 9th chapter, 267 is the verse. Somebody can find the link. So there it says, pure devotees reject 5 kinds of liberation. There are only 5 kinds of liberation, but the pure devotees reject all 5 of them. Indeed, for them, liberation is very insignificant because they see it as hellish. So what the pure devotees want is they want to be in the service of the Lord. So moksha is not the highest for them actually. They want to be in a place where the Lord exists and they want to keep offering service to the Lord. So that is the highest stage. So many times we think dharma, artha, kama, moksha, but for pure devotees it is beyond all 4 of them, even beyond moksha actually. Even beyond moksha, because if you do a lot of good things, you can achieve moksha, you can get liberated from this world and things like that. But many people think that that is the highest. But beyond that is a place where you're experiencing wonderful, loving service, and you're experiencing an amazing kind of bliss, which is way higher than moksha. Moksha, in one sense, is actually a very selfish desire, because I just want moksha because I can be peaceful, you know. But having that service to the Lord in a very intimate way is what the pure devotees aspire for. I hope that is clear, Megha. We can talk more offline if you want.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, so liberation is not the highest. Yeah, this is the verse. So, pure devotees reject the 5 kinds of liberation indeed. For them, liberation is very insignificant because they see it as hellish. So, yeah. And this comes up repeatedly, several times, devotees rejecting liberation. Does anybody else remember? Does anyone remember where liberation was rejected even though it was offered to them?
Hanuman rejected
Hanuman.
liberation.
Yes, wonderful.
Hmm.
Thank you, Lekha. Yeah. Any other examples? From the Bhagavatam itself, so many you can find.
This, I mean, not an example of someone rejecting liberation, but we read in CC one of the chapters, previous chapters, where Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya,
Yes.
he said, Jivetayo Mukti Pade, he was disturbed by that. He said, how does Mukti,
Yeah. He changed it to
it
Bhakti
should be
Pada.
Bhakti, yeah.
Yes, yes, beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful.
I sent one more verse there, 19, Madhya 19, 176.
Okay.
That's Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu verse. Bhukti Mukti Spriha yavat pishachi ridi vartate. Tavat bhakti sukhasyatra katham abhyudayo bhavet. So this, here the desire for bhukti is material enjoyment, and mukti, which is liberation. Both are compared to witches, pishachi.
Yeah.
And as long as these 2 witches remain in the heart, there is no possibility of enjoying a transcendental bliss of devotional service. Very strong words, actually.
Yeah. In fact, just today in the link that Jagannath Gopal Prabhu sent, where the Chinnajiyar Swami actually talks about Mayavadi. Did anybody hear that? So in there also he talks about Mayavadis and how it is false, and basically their goal is just to merge into the Supreme Lord because they want that peace. They want that. It's a very selfish thing, you know. So again, the same point, but the highest ecstasy, the highest love that you can experience is in service. That's why Srila Prabhupada always translated bhakti as devotional service. So anyway, I think, yeah, I'll stop. Yeah, Sundari Sakhi and Karan have a question.
So, Prabhuji, there's nothing like peace in service.
It's very active, actually. There is no peace. So in this material world, there's anxiety, but the same thing when it translates into the spiritual world, it's bliss. It's bliss in service. Because just imagine like a mother, the best example you can think of is like a mother serving a child. In fact, that comes later in this chapter itself. Can you go down to in the chapter that we're reading? I'll talk about that very briefly. If you go down to that place, right there, as baby birds. Yeah, so that particular verse, I don't know if Nitya had other things to say, but I just want to take a few
Go
minutes.
ahead. Yeah, I was going to say also, but yeah, go ahead because we only
So
have
this
few minutes.
particular verse actually talks about service at 3 different levels. In the first level, it's 3 different levels in 3 different ways, actually, this verse. So first level is, it talks about baby birds. And the second level is small calves. And the third level is a person who is a wife. So now if you see, just in terms of age, so baby, a small, let's say a child, and then a fully grown adult. Okay, that is one way of looking at this. In the second way, because a baby cannot do much, the Lord serves. So the Lord is compared to the mother. So the mother actually comes and serves the baby. So in that service, even though there is anxiety, there is bliss. There is complete bliss. It's not a peace. You can't serve when you're very peaceful, right? And look at the next one. Small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mother. So here, the calf is making an effort the calf is making an effort and the mother is serving. And there also, even though the mother experiences some pain, it is actually very blissful because the mother is serving the child. And in the third example, a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. So here also, you see, there is more, it's an adult person here, and then they are getting ready and they're doing way more in terms of service towards their beloved. So it talks about service, but the anxiety factor is not there. So in the spiritual world, it's called Vaikunta. It means there's no anxiety, but there's only bliss in service. I know it's a long answer, Sundarisaki. I hope it answers.
Yes, Prabhuji, to some extent. I think I want to like hear more about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We can talk more when maybe next week or the week after. I'll cover Jatayu, and I'll talk about this as well.
Okay.
You remember, Prabhuji, you had covered that point in New Vrindavan. How so in fear, in I don't know, Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu, do you remember that? In fear, in anxiety, and in something else. So like,
Oh yeah.
there was love. Like Mother Yashoda, for example, when she saw the whole universe in Krishna's belly, she suddenly became like fearful, awestruck, fearful, everything, right? But yeah, I forget that point. Yeah. Heartbreak, yes, fear, heartbreak, and one more thing was there. So
Confusion.
confusion, yes. In love of God, all these things are there. Yeah.
That is
That
is in the material world. Like here, in fear, in heartbreak, but those things become very insignificant. I feel like the fear is not the focus. The love is the focus. I don't know how to explain this.
No, but yeah, the underlying emotion is love. For love, you will become fearful.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't like Mother Yashoda has this constant anxiety, right? Oh, if Krishna steals butter, he'll be known as, he'll be notorious. Then who will give him a girl in marriage? All those kinds of anxieties she has, and even the eating dirt. He's constantly in anxiety, actually. What will happen to him? How will he grow up nicely? So, like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, just as an addition to what you mentioned.
Yeah.
And even
Am I right in saying that there is no anxiety in the spiritual world? Jagannath Gopal Prabhu, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, technically, yes. There is no anxiety as such, but actually, because Vaikuntha itself means no anxiety. Definitely no material anxiety. That much is for sure. Spiritual anxiety there may be.
I remember in one of Radhanath Swami Maharaj's classes that he mentions that having anxiety in one's service is a good thing. It's a good sign.
Yes, definitely. Right now.
So yeah, but again, it's not a material anxiety as in, oh, I should do better than him. That is okay, but for the pleasure of the Lord, having Lord as a focus, not having, okay, I wish my work has been seen and appreciated by everybody than somebody else. That is the opposite effect of the good anxiety, right? The good anxiety should be like, for example, what I believe Maharaj was saying in respect to how it's happening in the spiritual world is, all the devotees there are all wanting to eagerly serve, giving Krishna the best of the flowers, the best of the butter, the best of the milk. So they're saying, okay, you are giving this, I'm going to give you much better. Not because they're envious of the other person, but so that Krishna can have the best. So the focus is different. So I guess in that terms, in the anxiety, the envy, the greed are all actually okay. because it's
Yeah.
not for our own glorification, but for the glorification or the pleasing of the Lord. But if there is any subtle that subtle negative emotion that Krishna says, we are going to come back here, I guess.
So one thing that comes to my mind is like there is anxiety, there is fear when there is resistance to our love, right? Which is the case in the material world, but in the spiritual world, there is no resistance to our love. Like
Yeah.
there are no opposing factors. Like in our case, there are opposing factors like our own, past misdeeds, which are holding us back, or it could be just the material atmosphere which is not allowing us. And, people around us are averse to. They could be averse to bhakti and things like that. So that itself creates anxiety. But then again, that's because of the opposing forces, and that actually makes it even sweeter, the anxiety that we have. But in the spiritual world, those things are not there. At least there is a seamless seamless flow of love between the Lord and the devotees. So yeah.
Great points, actually. Great, very nice discussion. So we have 5 minutes. I'm just going to the kind of crux of this, the Vritrasura's prayers.
You can just one thing, Mataji. You can cover whatever you had planned, Mataji. This is a really beautiful section, and I think I don't know about devotees. I don't want to keep them, but if we can go a little over, also it's okay. But
Okay.
you yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pretty much every single verse is like, nectar here. Yeah, we saw about, I mean, it's like it's bringing out so many emotions. Like I liked where he was mentioning something like, like miser. Yeah. So I really like this. Although your attack upon me with your club was certainly useless, like a request of money from a miser. I mean, it's like how, like fluently they are, able to talk with a clear consciousness, conscience, in the midst of a battle like that, right? The thunderbolt you carry will not be useless. You need not have doubts about this. It's actually reassuring Indra. I mean, it's very beautiful. It has so many emotions that this whole pastime brings out. So I mean, first he was saying that I will kill you with my trident. Then he realizes, okay, I cannot kill you because you got the weapon to kill me from Krishna, so that nobody can go against. So even if I'm killed, I'm going to receive the dust from the lotus feet. Then he says, since I, your enemy, is standing before you, why don't you just do it? Why don't you just kill me with a thunderbolt? And your attack will not become useless, like a request of a money from a miser. Miser will not give the money. So a miserly person will not give money or donation or anything on charity. So like that, don't be uselessly just standing there, just throw that club. Like don't throw the club, throw the thunderbolt. That's what he's saying. Don't just give me some small things, just throw me the big one, and that is going to kill me, and you don't have to worry about it. And he is assuring that he will be killed, and he is giving assurance for Indra. It's just amazing, kind of a conversation that's happened between them. I mean, of course, Indra does not even say anything. This is all Vritrasura's utterances. Yeah, then I was just going to go to 21, 22. Yeah, he again says, I shall attain the destination of such great sages like Narada Muni. Then in 22, he says that persons will fully surrender under at the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead and always think of his lotus feet are accepted and recognized by the Lord as his own personal service, assistants and servants. Yeah, here is where he talks about the Lord never bestows upon such servants the brilliant opulences of the upper, middle, and lower planetary system. When one possesses material opulences in any of his three divisions, his possessions naturally increase enmity, anxiety, mental agitation, pride, and belligerence. So he in one sense he's just he's actually condemning Indra because he has expressed all of these emotions, right? Indra, because he is the king of the heaven, heavenly kingdom. He has created enmity. He has anxiety. He's always anxious about who will take over my kingdom. Again, Prithu Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj did 99 sacrifices of Ashwamedha Yajna, and he was going to do the 100th one, and then he got anxiety. Indra got anxiety, and then he brought everybody over, and and Lord Brahma, finally Lord Vishnu himself says, okay, I will give you whatever benediction that you want, but please don't do and Prithu Maharaj was like, okay, that's he was in yeah, so he was always mentally agitated. He had pride. All of these were expressed. That's because he wanted material opulence, and that's what he is praying to Lord Krishna also for material opulences. And he says that one who prays for such opulences, it will naturally increase the enmity. All of this will happen, right? Thus, one goes through much endeavor to increase and maintain his possessions, and he suffers great unhappiness when he loses them. So that's what happens with the hankering and lamentation. Hankering and lamentation. This is a vicious cycle that unfortunately, as mortals, we have to go through. But there is a way to break away from this vicious cycle, and when we desire not for material opulences, but for serving under the lotus feet of the devotees of the Lord. Then on the 23, he says, yeah, again, not by persons last by material gains. He just keeps pounding on what Indra is. Pretty much Indra and Vitrasura are favored by Krishna in two different ways. In the Vitrasura wanted pure devotional service, Indra wanted pure material opulence. Both they were served for them for them. But one has the side effects that we saw. The other one is constant, eternal Sachidananda. Eternally blissful, blissfully serving under the lotus feet of the Lord. Then may again become their servant. So yeah, so this is a very beautiful verse. So Prabhupada calls this the sum and substance of devotional life. This verse, the sum and substance of devotional life. So one must first become a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, dasanu dasanu das. And that a living entity should always desire to be the servant of Krishna and maintainer of the gopis. This means that one must accept a spiritual master who comes in disciplic succession and is a servant of the Lord. Under this direction, one must engage one's three properties, namely his body, mind, and words. So body, pretty much this is it, our body, minds, and actions or should be always in sync and should be always working towards the loving service of the Lord. And then one is successful. This is what is success means. The success means to achieve this state where we are in unison with our body, mind, and words, and of course actions. Also, all in one line. There is no conflict between what the body wants, what the mind wants, what we do, what we act. what we say. So everything in one alignment, and yeah, it's a very tall order to do this, but this is what it's considered life's success. Sorry, I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to ask if how much do we believe in the sum and substance that that Prabhupada is mentioning? Any like we already covered 26, Gautama Prabhu covered, so I'm not going to go through that. But I just wanted to mention about this 26 is that our acharyas have mentioned who gave the commentaries on this purport, that when we chant, this is what we are asking for. We are asking Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We are asking for the opportunity to serve Krishna, right? And how we have to chant is given here, as the baby bird is longing for their mother, as a small calf is waiting anxiously to drink milk from his mother, as a morose wife who is waiting for the husband to return from a long journey, and so that they can be united. And so like that, we have to reach out in whatever way we connect, we either as baby birds or small calves, or we can relate to the morose wife. If our chanting is like this, then then we are creating an opportunity for Krishna to give us a potential for an opportunity to render direct service. We are just creating a potential by eagerly, sincerely earning for that. And when I read this, I was like, okay, this could be a nice meditation for my next japa session, to just look for, like a baby bird looks at its mother for food. Please interrupt me if you have any thoughts, or reflections. Kamisha Babu is joining. Any thoughts, reflections on any of these things, like catch your eye, like 25, 26, and then finally in 27. I'm wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in your association of your pious, enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy. I wish to be attached to them no longer. So he's just his final attachment that he has to this, the material attachments, he is giving up, and he says, let me be attached only to you. So he is preparing his consciousness for the inevitable to happen. And so, yes, so it is something that it leaves us with to wonder, what we really actually think are the successes in this material life. Are they really successes? What is the ultimate success? What makes us really happy? And what should we strive for? What should be the mood? This section has so much to offer for us. I just feel very blessed to have given an opportunity to read about this pastime and share with you all. If anybody has any reflections, thoughts, please share. Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. This was such a wonderful discussion you led, and you brought about amazing points regarding how much do we believe, like how much do I believe in the Dasanudas, servant of the servant aspect. It's quite a bit of theory for me. I haven't realized that bliss. Of course, I do feel happy when I serve the servants of the servants of the servants of the Lord. But that could be at an emotional level as well. I don't know. So, but at least in theory, I know that that is it. That is the essence, the sum and substance of bhakti. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I'm also kind of struggling with that, can I serve at a lotus feet of a servant of a servant of a servant of the Lord? Yeah, can I do that without any kind of restrictions or any inhibitions? Yes, that is that is why I asked that question, because I myself is struggling. Like, how much we firmly believe in that will take us back home. Yeah, I guess. Something that we can all reflect on as a homework.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for covering this, and definitely so many important points to take home. And yeah, I definitely suggest everyone to read this chapter and its purports whenever you have time, and
Yeah.
really be nourished.
Yeah. And appreciate the humor and the emotions and the anger and the prayers.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is like, it's like, watching a nice movie.
Yes. Yes.
Brings that satisfaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Thank
just
you
want
all.
to mention, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
That's it.
So I just want to mention one small thing here, is that in terms of direct service, it's not that Vitrasura did any direct service to the Lord or anything like that. It's just that, as Vallabh Chaitanya Prabhu or somebody mentioned in the chat, that from previous lifetimes, the devotional qualities that were ingrained within the soul, it all came out when he took this body of Vitrasura, actually. So we see through these wonderful prayers, and even in these arguments that he's making against Indra, like whatever is very deep within his heart, the deep devotion to the Lord, the consciousness that he is elevated to a certain level, all that is coming out. And that shows the consciousness of a pure devotee. So externally, yeah, he is a demon. In fact, even in the Dharma Shastras, they glorify Indra actually. They glorify Indra because he defeated Vitrasura in the Dharma Shastras. But in the Bhakti Shastras, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Vitrasura is glorified because Vitrasura is a pure devotee, and his consciousness is revealed through his final words. Which are not so much emphasized in Dharma Shastras. So just wanted to highlight that. Thank you. But otherwise, a wonderful discussion. Thank you, everyone. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patita.
Chapati Tanam Tanam Vaishnavi Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavi Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.